To make this lovely Harabhara kebab, I'm just first gonna lightly fry my ingredients so that they kind of bind together and the flavor is intact. That's the way we make it in our restaurants. So I've taken a nice non-stick pan and I have here about 1 tablespoon of oil. So I've kind of greased my pan pretty well. Okay, once my pan is nice and hot, I'm gonna chop in my spinach that I have boiled and kept ready. So I boiled my spinach and chopped it into smaller pieces, so it's more or less a coarse paste. Okay, so before you add it to your tawa or the non-stick pan, you got to ensure you squeeze out all the water from the spinach. Lovely. So I'm just going to add it like this. Squeezed out all the water. Okay. Add some coriander leaves. Lovely. Okay. I'm going to add 3 boiled potatoes, which I have mashed up. Just add everything together. And the reason I'm doing this is because by this kind of a stir-fry mixture, I'm going to ensure everything combines together before I make my patties or my kebabs. Okay, so if you like, you can add more of the green, less of the potatoes, depending on what you like. Potatoes help in binding, that's clear. So I am going to add just, this is 1 bunch of spinach by the way, and 3 potatoes, and just some coriander leaves for taste. Okay, just blend everything together really well the way I'm telling you. Just go mashing them together so that they're all mixed well. Okay, lovely. Okay, once this is combined pretty well, you can really add green peas or corn. You can mash up the green peas depending on how you like them, or you can add whole green peas. Now I'm going to add whole green peas and whole corn because that's the way I like it. I don't like mashing them up, and that's the way we make it in our restaurants, and it gives a nice wholesome feel when you add them together. But like I said, that's again a matter of choice. Just gonna toss in. Okay. About 50 grams of corn, 50 grams of boiled green peas, both are boiled. Mix everything really well together. Ensure your flame is at the lowest so it just helps in binding but doesn't stick. Okay. Beautiful. I'm now going to add 1 tablespoonful of white pepper. Lovely. I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of mixed herbs. Okay, so this mixed herbs powder is easily available in the stores. Add half a teaspoonful of salt to taste. Okay. 1/4 teaspoon of cumin powder. 1/4 teaspoon of turmeric powder. And 1/4 teaspoon of red chili powder. Lovely. Just gonna mix all this really good. Okay, see, when you make it in a mixing bowl, generally some restaurants make Harabhara kebabs in just a mixing bowl, just mix things and pat it into a kebab and fry. But this tastes better is what I feel, and you know, stats have been saying so, because it kind of combines very well when you do this, and while you're cooking all this together, you're also cooking your spices, so it doesn't taste very raw when you eat the kebab, which is most important because you're doing the job of combining the spices here. Okay. And by this everything will taste alike, will taste the same. Okay, you can turn off the flame now because your pan is moderately hot. And we've basically added our ingredients, so I'm not gonna add anything more. I'm just mashing my potatoes so that everything tastes and looks the same. Okay, lovely. So this mixture is actually done. Okay, just let this cool down and then we can start making our kebabs. So I'm just gonna let this cool down well for 20 minutes so that there is no way that they do not bind. Remember, when it's hot, you'll not be able to hold them. Besides, they'll not bind easily. So it has to be nice and cold. So cool this off completely. Okay, so 20 minutes and then I'll show you. So after letting my mixture cool down, I've made them into round patties as you can see so that I could fry these beautiful patted kebabs. So at the center I have some wheat flour. You could also use corn flour. I'm just going to pat these around once and really lightly and then drop them into my oil. So I have here my non-stick pan with about 3 tablespoons of oil. It's nice and hot, so now I can start. So it's kind of simple. All I'm going to do is I'm going to take one in my hand, okay, put it into the wheat flour, pat it once so that it kind of doesn't break. We're just being super cautious. Roll it around on all sides so that it has the wheat flour. Simple. Drop it into the oil. I'm going to show you one more. Take it in your hand, drop it into the wheat flour, pat it on all sides so that it's covered with this coating. Very lightly, don't dab too much and just drop off the excess. Drop it into the oil. Simple. I'm just going to do the rest the same way. And now that your pan is nice and hot, you can actually reduce the flame so that things don't get burned. Okay. And we're creating a very light coating, as I said, because I don't want it to taste too much with the wheat flour. You know, the essence of the Harabhara Kebab is lost if you do that. And like I said, you could also use the corn flour, purely optional. But I'm using the wheat flour because I don't want too much of a paste or too much of a coating with the corn flour. Just gonna have a very light one. Lovely. Okay. Now you gotta keep an eye. If your pan is nice and hot, then these are gonna get cooked really quick. So just create a nice golden brown kind of a coating. Don't burn them too much, otherwise they don't taste that well, as I said. Lovely. Now these appetizers are actually for vegetarians, really. Obviously non-vegetarians could also eat it, and to an extent vegans could also eat it because it doesn't involve a lot of oil, I guess, because we're just lightly frying this because our mixture is actually cooked, which is why, you know, we kind of cook it, we kind of stir fry and cook it in the start so that we don't need to keep it in the oil for far too long. And if once you do that, it doesn't even taste all that raw. It tastes amazing. Lovely. So I'm just going to let this cook on low flame. Toss it around after about 2 to 3 minutes. You know, once it's kind of ready on one side, like this one. Lovely. You could toss it around then. Okay. Now I'm just going to be very cautious because I don't want them to get burnt. And I want them to be nice and golden brown. I don't want them to be too burnt or too cooked. You know, so I'm going to twist them, turn them a little earlier. Lovely. Now I have place for one more, so I don't end up using a lot of oil as well. So I'm just going to fry these the same way. It essentially takes about 4 to 5 minutes, and then they'll be nice and ready. So that's how these Harabhara kebabs look. I've cut them into smaller cubes. Serve this with some salad and tomato ketchup. So enjoy! So thank you very much, and hope you guys enjoyed watching this video and you guys will try it out in your homes. And do write to me if in case you want me to really teach you or to cook with you a recipe of your choice. I'll be more than happy because I believe in inspiring a lot of people to cook. And now that I have that kind of expertise, I want to pass it on to everyone. So thank you, and see you again in my next video. Bye bye.